On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Whatever. Did they put a gun to their head and make them go to it too?
That's not what I said.
Yeah, but they do things strategically. I mean, why would you put a Planned Parenthood in the middle of a middle upper class neighborhood? Like, we have United Healthcare. I don't go to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is for people who don't have insurance, who don't have resources. So obviously they're going to put the Planned Parenthood in the lower income communities. That's also where they're going to put abortion clinics because kids cost money. So if you don't have money, why would you have a kid? Versus, you know, people that have more resources will have these kids, and then you have the whole village that help raise them or whatever. But lower income, I mean, you're right though, Logic. The liquors, there's in the Black community, there's liquor stores, McDonald's, dialysis places, abortion clinics, Planned Parenthoods,
churches,
and Church's Chicken and Papa John's.
Like literal, no, churches, like literal churches. I think that probably a lot of abortions that happen are due to circumstances outside of marriages, but I could be wrong. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it in that like category of what you're asking.
Well, I'm really talking about the residual effects of a law like that being enacted. So if you'll notice, the first thing, like maybe 3 or 4 days after it was overturned, most notably by a Black man, we forget that, they came out and said the #1 inquired thing on Google was vasectomy. So that's a residual effect. That means that men want, you say protect your seed, they're like, oh snap. So she can't just say I'm going to go get an abortion or whatever. So they're trying to protect their seed. Okay. Well, what residual effects do you think it would have for Black women?
If men get vasectomies?
No, if just the abortion law in general. So that the residual effect on the men's side is that more men looked into getting vasectomies. What do you think on the women's side might be a residual effect? And that's what I really mean when I say help the community. Do you think it will result in more women scrutinizing who they're laying with and could potentially get pregnant by?
Yeah, I think that if abortions were completely banned, if this is what you're asking, I think that if abortions were completely banned, that men and women would absolutely be more careful as it relates to who they impregnate and getting pregnant, just because the options would be more limited as it relates to how to handle that situation.
Okay. So one of my bigger theories, theory of mine, I think that after effect that you just stated, like, okay, everybody's minding who they're sleeping with, men are keeping
not everybody, but
more people, and you know, men are more mindful of where they lay their seed. Will we be in agreement that that actually helps or hurts the Black community in general?
You know, I can't look at it as that. I can't look at it in that way, because I would say that more people than right now would be more careful, right? But I think that there would still be a very large number of people who would still be impregnating people and getting pregnant. So I'm not sure what the outcome would be for those people. So I wouldn't just go as far as to say, oh, it's going to help, because there would still be a lot of children being born to a parent or parents that never wanted them in the first place, you know, and that's doing a disservice to that child. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like, oh, this is going to help. I wouldn't say that. Okay. I think, like I said, the community would be more careful, but
I mean, the community as a whole, in terms of our communal power and numbers, it definitely won't help. I mean, the birth rate is already down. Complications for pregnancy and things like that among Black women is up like 300%. So I don't think it'll help us overall as a community to repopulate, because people are already having kids less than they ever were. And people are, if they don't have the option to get that abortion, they are going to be more careful. So, and we haven't seen the marriage rates increasing. We've seen people actually spend more time alone. We've seen people actually be in relationship less. So I think for our community, no, it's not gonna help. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of, we say whatever we want to say about like single mothers, but like some of the greatest men in our community come from single mothers. Had their mothers not had them, they wouldn't be here to do anything. So I don't know. I mean, when y'all look at the numbers, our numbers are dwindling like staggeringly. So
I also think honestly that they're going to get abortions. They're just not going to get abortions here. Just like women are flying to South America to get a BBL, they're going to fly to a legal country and get an abortion. Like, I don't see how that is really going to stop the abortion. I think it's either going to be back alley, unsafe, or it's going to be in another country, unfortunately, once they take that option away. Do I feel that it's going to help the community? I think it is going to help in the sense that, yeah, you're probably there. Well, no, because statistically speaking, most of the people who are making unwise sexual choices aren't very educated.
That's actually not true.
Actually, it is true.
A majority of the women that get abortions or have had, I believe, 3 or more, correct me if I'm wrong, make more than the average woman does per year.
I said sexual choices and sexual behaviors are more in the lower SES communities, actually.
So and as it relates to pregnancy?
It relates, that's why where do you find most of the Planned Parenthoods? Where do you find most of the abortion clinics? There's a reason why they put them there. It's because that's where
abortions.
That's where most abortions are.
Because hoes want to have abortions. They're gonna put it where the hoes at. That's business. You gonna put a liquor store where the drunks at.
That's actually what I just said.
Bullshit though. Because guess what? You can put them Planned Parenthoods anywhere. You still need somebody to go to it. So all that little spooky shit, like, oh, they put Planned Parenthood in the hoods or whatever. Did they put a gun to their head and make them go to it too?
That's not what I said.
Yeah, but they do things strategically. I mean, why would you put a Planned Parenthood in the middle of a middle upper class neighborhood? Like, we have United Healthcare. I don't go to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is for people who don't have insurance, who don't have resources. So obviously they're going to put the Planned Parenthood in the lower income communities. That's also where they're going to put abortion clinics because kids cost money. So if you don't have money, why would you have a kid? Versus, you know, people that have more resources will have these kids and then you have the whole village that help raise them or whatever. But lower income, I mean, you're right though, Logic. There's in the Black community, there's liquor stores, McDonald's, dialysis places, abortion clinics, Planned Parenthoods,
churches,
and Church's Chicken and Papa John's.
Like literal, no, churches, like literal churches.